If you don't get this paradox, you never will.
You are faced with a game involving 3 doors. Behind one door is...
I know why you guys sent this to me, by the way, because we were talking about this on some other stream where you were telling me if I'm in The Price is Right and I choose door number 1 and they remove door number 3, I have to switch my door. No, the I don't. Why do I have to switch my door?
Is a brand new car. And behind the other 2 are goats. The host, Monty Hall, asks you to choose a door. You pick door 1. Next, Monty opens door 2, revealing one of the goats. He offers you the option to switch to door 3 or remain with your chosen door.
I'm locking in my god door. I'm not changing doors. Are you guys changing doors? No. I think he's trying to get me to switch doors because he's a con man and he wants me to lose. So he's going to try and get me to not believe that my door's the right door because his ass knows what door the car's behind.
What should you do? The vast majority of people choose to stay for purely psychological reasons. Those who attempt a logical response conclude it doesn't matter, it's a 50-50 choice. After all, there are exactly 2 doors and we have no information about which has a car behind it.
That's my logic, but he's going to tell me I'm wrong for some reason. They've removed door 2, okay? I had a 1 in 3 chance of me being right. Now I have a 1 in 2. Yes, it's a new decision to be made because they've removed one of the options, but that doesn't mean that my option is less likely than the other because it's still 50-50. It doesn't become 2 out of 3/3 chance that I win if I switch. That's just stupid.
Or do we? In fact, the optimal strategy is to switch, doubling your odds of winning. This is...
It doesn't double your odds!
The Monty Hall paradox. Despite being a solved problem, its solution widely accepted and mathematically proven,
No, it's not! How is it mathematically proven? I literally can't understand it. Dude, no, chat, seriously. No, shut up. Shut up for a second and let me explain. There's 3 bro. I'm about to do this with cups. I'm about to get 3 fucking cups. I'll put a coin under one of them, and I can fucking remove 1 cup, and your dumbass switching doesn't fucking make it more likely that now you're picking the coin under the cup. Do it? Hold up. I'm going to shut off my camera and move the fucking cups around. I'm going to poll chat, pick a cup, okay? And then I'll remove one of the other cups, and you can choose. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Pick a cup. Pick a cup. What cup do you think the tooth floss is under? Whatever chat chooses, that'll lock in. I'll remove a cup, and then I'll give you the option of switching. It's so even. Most people are choosing the middle cup. You believe that I did not move the floss. That's the logic that most of you are having because you saw me put it under the second one, and you went, he didn't move it. Okay, end the poll. End the poll. 40% chose middle, 32 right, 32 left. You guys locked in middle cup. Now poll if you switch. Do you switch? Left or right? You originally had the right cup. Do you want to switch? It's 55-45. God fucking damn it. It's not. Okay. Yes. Okay, this is dumb as hell. This is dumb as hell. Okay, why does that No, chat, listen. Okay, you guys switched. Okay, yes, it worked. Okay, maybe it worked. Okay, no, now I'm getting it. Because I had to remove because you chose one of the wrong answers. Oh my God, I get it. I get it now. Because if you had chosen the right cup, you didn't, right? If you had chosen the left cup and I had pulled one away, Oh my God, I get it. Okay, wait, let me explain. When you pick what door you want, there's a 2/3 chance you're going to pick the wrong cup. And if you pick, you're more likely to pick the wrong cup than the right cup. And so if you pick the wrong cup, they still have to move one of the wrong answers out of the board. And because you were statistically more likely to pick the wrong cup, that means they got rid of the other wrong cup, which means the right cup is the one that you didn't pick. I get it!
Remains a source of confusion, disbelief, and even outrage. The typical explanations tend to only confuse the skeptic further. In this video, I'm going to explain why that is. History. The Monty Hall paradox gets its name from Monty Hall, the host of the 1960s game show Let's Make a Deal.
Where you would win $100 as the fucking grand prize.
Contestants would choose one of 3 doors, knowing a big prize was behind one, while the other 2 hid smaller prizes, or sometimes goats. The original game wasn't set in stone. Monty would occasionally offer cash instead of the option to switch, or his decisions might be influenced by what made
money safe. Bro, there's $1 in there.
for better TV. Fast forward to 1990, when Marilyn Vos Savant introduced a simplified version of the scenario in her Ask Marilyn column. In her version, Monty always reveals a goat and always gives the player the chance to switch. The surprising result? Switching doubles your odds of winning, boosting them from 1/3 to 2/3.
Get me on The Price is Right now, and I'll switch. And then watch. I'll lose. And then that's where I rush the host. That's where I go, but I tried it with tooth floss.
That's when the real controversy started. Professors, mathematicians, and skeptics flooded Vos Savant with letters insisting she was wrong. Some refused to believe it, even when the math clearly showed otherwise. At its heart, the Monty Hall problem is a clash between intuition and logic. When we first hear the setup, it's easy to get caught up in the story, wondering things like, is Monty trying to trick me, or can I really trust him?
I would want to take that into account, though. But you're supposed to look at it in a computer mindset.
These are natural thoughts, but they miss the mark. The math behind the problem doesn't care about Monty's intentions or whether you're suspicious of him. It's all about simplifying
One more? Oh my God. I want to watch the video.
the scenario to focus purely on probabilities. Stripping away the human element lets us see the numbers for what they are and find a clear answer. In real life, it might make sense to ask those psychological questions, but with this paradox, solving the abstract problem gives you the solution. You just have to trust the math. To do that, you need to understand the game's strict rules. 1. There are 3 doors. 1 hides a car, and the other 2 hide goats. 2. You pick a door. 3. Monty opens a different door, revealing a goat. 4. You're given the option to switch to the remaining closed door. In this version, Monty is essentially a robot. To make it even clearer, we could add a rule 3.1 if Monty can choose between 2 goats.
Wait, why am I not getting it again? Wait, why am I not getting it again? Oh my God, no, it's actually starting to not make sense to me again. I'm watching this and I'm like, wait, no, it's still 50-50. Okay, no, I gotta repeat this to myself.
Always picks the lower numbered door or flips a coin.
Holy fuck.
It doesn't affect the probabilities, it just removes any uncertainty about his actions. In the example we started with, Rule 3 wasn't spelled out explicitly, but the critical piece is that Monty knows where the car is and always opens a door with a goat that isn't yours. That's the key to why switching is the better move.
Yeah, if he opened a random door, then it wouldn't matter, because sometimes he would just reveal the car.
You just have to accept these rules to fully understand why the math works.
100 doors, 99 goats? Get the fuck out of here. Now that's too much. Is he going to go into different random hypotheticals?
Talk about Marilyn Vos Savant's 100 doors, 99 goats
All right, hold up, chat. Let me go get 99 red solo cups.
explanation. It's a clever way to make the Monty Hall problem easier to understand by exaggerating the setup. By scaling up the scenario, the logic behind switching becomes more obvious, or at least that's the idea. Here's how it works. Imagine you're faced with 100 doors. Behind one of them is a brand new car, and behind the other, 99 are goats. Monty Hall asks you to pick a door, and you go with door 1.
Door 97!
Now, Monty begins opening the other doors one by one, revealing goats.
You know, it's also another fun fact. If you tell somebody to pick a random number, they're more bound to pick a prime number that is not divisible because it seems more random.
Behind each. He starts with door 2 and continues all the way to door 100, except for one curious exception. He skips over door 29. So now there are 2 unopened doors. Door 1, your original pick, and door 29, the one Monty intentionally left closed. Monty offers you the chance to switch to door 29. What should you do?
In that scenario, I wouldn't want to switch.
At this point, most people lean towards switching. Leaving one specific door out of the 99 he opens seemed deliberate, and intuitively, it feels like door 29 must be the better choice. And they'd be right.
Fuck.
Switching is the better move, because the odds of winning shift dramatically in your favor.
Oh, that's true. It's the same logic. I look at it in the sense of like, if I was the host, I would try and fuck you over with that mindset.
But why? When you picked door 1, there was only a 1 in 100 chance that you chose the car, and a 99 out of 100 chance that the car was behind.
Yeah, and either way, he has to remove 98 goats.
One of the other doors. Monty's actions don't change those initial odds, they just redistribute the 99 out of 100 probability across the remaining unopened doors. By the time Monty reveals goats behind all but one of those doors, all of that probability condenses onto the single unopened door, door 29. Switching gives you a 99% chance of winning the car
99% chance of winning the car?
Compared to just 1% if you stick with your original choice. But there's a big catch. This explanation, while powerful, isn't perfect. It relies on abstract thinking and the ability to generalize insights from one scenario to another. Scaling up to 100 doors makes the average of switching feel obvious.
Wait, so then in the classic game show with Howie Mandel, Deal or No Deal, when you pick a case in the beginning and you have $1 and $1 million left, you're supposed to switch?
This context.
But then if I did switch and I got $1, I think I would burn the set to the ground.
But it requires a mental leap to apply the same logic back to the original 3-door problem. Here's why. In the 100-door example, the scale is so exaggerated that it's easy to focus on the specific numbers and the unusual setup. You're looking at 99 doors being eliminated, which makes door 29 stand out as the obvious choice. But the principle that's actually at play, how probabilities redistribute after Monty reveals the goats, applies just as much to the 3-door version. The challenge is helping people see that the math doesn't change, no matter how many doors you start with. Without making this connection clear, the 100 doors, 99 goats explanation can feel disconnected or even confusing. People might see it as an entirely different problem.
No, it's because they're unable to remove the right door. That's all it is. They're unable to remove the door that has the prize under it. And so if you had 1 million doors and you chose one number and I removed 999,998 doors, you're going to go, well, maybe I was lucky. But in reality, I just removed all of the other unlikely doors and left you with the one that it probably is.
Problem rather than an exaggerated version of the same one. To fully understand the Monty Hall paradox, it's important to focus not on the size of the setup, but on how Monty's actions shift the odds in both scenarios. That's the key to why switching works. Another way to explain the Monty Hall problem is by breaking it down step by step through all possible scenarios. This method, called exhaustive search, lays out every possible outcome to make the solution crystal clear. When you chart out all the possibilities, a clear pattern emerges.
Switch, lose, win, 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 lose, win, 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 lose. Versus win, lose, 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 win, lose, 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 win. Wow, so you lose way more.
In one of 3 of the scenarios,
how many people do you think on that show switched versus stayed? I would assume the majority of people that didn't know this paradox would probably stay. Because at surface value, you're just like, all right, well, my door's probably locked.
Staying wins.
I'm probably the right fucking door.
Which happens when you correctly pick the car on your first try. In 2 out of 3 of the scenarios, switching wins because the car is behind one of the doors you didn't initially choose. This table is about as straightforward as it gets. It leaves no room for debate. Switching is the better option. Yet even with all the possibilities laid out like this, some people remain unconvinced. Here's why. While the table proves that switching works, it doesn't address the lingering intuition that once Monty reveals a goat, the odds should split evenly 50-50 between the 2 remaining doors. People get...
I think the reason people refuse to switch is because he's a human. If you were playing and a computer revealed a door, you would probably go, okay, I understand my odds. But a person doing it, you think they're conning you.
Stuck on the idea that Monty's reveal somehow resets the game, even though the math says otherwise. The exhaustive search shows the outcome but doesn't dig into why this counterintuitive result happens. That is to think of it as a choice between your first pick and all the other options combined. This perspective emphasizes that switching effectively gives you access to combining probability of the unchosen doors.
Okay, I get that part.
Is the Bayesian approach, which...
Wait, why are there so many approaches to try and explain this to someone? Do any of you guys still not get this? I feel like after we did the cup shit, I immediately understood it. Like, why is there a Bayesian approach to fucking explain to me why they literally just show me the cups, run it 3 times, and I go, okay, yeah, I get it.
Which meticulously accounts for every detail. To follow this reasoning, you need to understand, or at least accept, that probabilities must be updated based on new information, and the correct way to do this is by applying Bayes' rule. The right-hand side of Bayes' rule represents the probability of A given B. In simpler terms...
Oh, hell no. You're gonna try and explain to someone that goes, the odds are 50-50, like I just did in the beginning of the fucking video. And they still don't get it after you show it to them. And so your next logical way of trying to make them understand the door paradox is showing them a complicated-looking mathematical problem.
E is something we already know or just learned to be true. For example, let's say we picked door 1 and Monty revealed a goat behind door 3. Now, we want to calculate the probability...
Oh, Jesus Christ. I get it. I get it. I get the Bayesian reasoning, dude.
The difficulty with the Monty Hall paradox isn't in understanding the math, it's in confronting how we naturally think. It forces us to question and override deeply rooted intuitions about fairness, randomness, and probability. When Monty reveals a goat, most people instinctively believe the remaining 2 options must be equally likely. This feels fair because it aligns with our sense of symmetry. 2 doors left, 1 car, so it's a 50-50 chance. But the paradox challenges this intuition.
Yeah, you have to look at it at a whole problem.
By revealing a deeper truth. Probabilities aren't static. They can change based on new information, even when the physical setup remains unchanged. What makes this even harder to accept?
All right, bro, but I already explained that.
Chosen door. Yet this act of revealing a goat redistributes the probabilities, concentrating the chances of the car
that visual just makes you understand it.
Being behind the unchosen door. This subtle shift is deeply unintuitive because it's not how we naturally process randomness or fairness. We want to believe the remaining options are equal because that's what seems simple and fair. For those who can trust the abstraction and focus solely on the math, the solution becomes clear. Switching gives you a 2 in 3 chance of winning, while staying
I think it's easiest to understand when you're running it. Because when I was doing it for you guys and I wanted you to lose to prove that I was right, you were always right. Because I want you to pick the right one. But the only way my original thought process of it being 50-50 is right is if you immediately get it.
leaves you with only 1 in 3. The math doesn't lie, and it provides an undeniable answer. But
wow, I could really scam people with out of money using this. I hate that my mind goes to that. Yo, you could con the fuck out of so many people doing this. You could literally be like, dude, give me $1 and I'll put 5 under a cup. And you like mix them around. You pick one. He picks one. You remove the other one. Do you want to switch? He's going to go, no, man. Open that bitch up. You would have to do the math to where statistically you're going to win more money, but
for those who remain tied to the narrative, where Monty's reveal feels like a random event that resets the game, the solution feels wrong no matter how it's explained. They focus on the story instead of the probabilities, and as a result, the logic never quite clicks. But this paradox is about more than just a game. It's a reflection of how we approach complex problems in everyday life. When faced with uncertainty, we tend to rely on our instincts, which are shaped by experience and intuition. However, in scenarios like this, those instincts can be misleading. The Monty Hall paradox teaches us that the tools of abstraction, simplification, and mathematical reasoning are essential for making sense of situations that aren't immediately intuitive. At its core,
wow. I get it. That was a very fun video.